everyone, welcome back. Today we are not going to be doing art, but I wanted to show you some art sketches and things that me and my husband have been doing. Every once in a while I make my husband do some art with me, and I wanted to go through and show you all the things that we have done together, because it's a lot of fun to drag someone into drawing or painting when they don't really know how to draw or paint anything. Obviously I sketch and paint pretty much daily and he doesn't, so there's a big difference. But it's funny because like something that he does well is something that I have always struggled with, so it was really interesting to find all that out. And anyway, I just wanted to show you guys. It's like a me and my husband sketchbook tour. We did some 2-minute sketches like last year. We did some blind contour drawing, we did some scroll and scribble, some 2-minute sketching. There's everything is in here, and I'm going to show you the very first thing we did together, and then I'll get into the sketchbooks. I'm going to leave them like this because I took kind of before and after pictures that I'm going to have to pop up while I tell you about it. Okay, so the first thing that we did together was the 2-minute sketching, which I find to be like kind of the easiest thing to do with people who don't know how to draw or are intimidated to draw, because it really like it just kind of forces you to do it instead of overthinking it and being like hard on yourself that you can't draw. They're also just a ton of fun. So here's the first picture that we did, and I was really surprised. I thought he did very well. And then, as most of you know, at the end of my 2-minute drawing sessions, I always go back and just complete the entire picture. So here is his completed, and there was no time limit on how long it took to complete these. We just kind of went until we felt like we were done. And this is all with the Neocolor IIs also. So it was drawing and painting and, you know, getting used to how they worked. He did really awesome, and all the textures and the landscape and everything. I love this tree and I love this bush in the background. I think those are like two of the best parts of what he did. And then here's mine finished. I love sketching trees with the Neocolor IIs. So yeah. All right, here's the second picture. And then here's our 2-minute sketches. I love all the 2-minute sketches. I wish I could leave the 2-minute sketches unfinished and like make a copy so that I have a copy. I mean, I guess I took a picture, so that counts for something. But again, not too bad for 2 minutes. And then here's them finished. So here's his finished. It's so cute. And again, very impressed with the scenery. I think he did great on the cow. He didn't like the cow so much. And then here's mine. And y'all know I love a cow. And I'm not trying to compare these. I know y'all will probably want to see both of them. The point of doing this is not to compare yourselves to each other. It's really just fun to do alongside someone. All right, here's the next one we did. This one was really good. He surprised me on this one. I think his 2-minute sketch was really good, and also when he finished it, it was really good. And it was only the third one we did. We did these in a row, just like I do in the video, and then we finished all of them at the end. So here's his finished one. I think he did a really good job. I must mention, he is colorblind, okay? So you know, he chooses some different colors, but I think it looks really cool. And I can just tell, you know, he's being able to play with the Neocolors a little bit more, which, as someone who uses Neocolors all the time, it's just kind of cool to see. And here's mine. Classic, you know, classic ran off the page. But I really liked doing this one. Again, I think he did really, really well on that one. All right, here is the last one we did. Nice landscape with a tree. And then here's our 2-minute sketches. Again, love the 2-minute sketch. I always love the 2-minute sketches. And then here's them finished. So here's his. Very nice. I always like seeing the difference in the color choices and everything. Almost looks like there's a bird flying off in the distance. Love it. And then here's mine. Got a little squiggly with those branches. Very cool to see side by side. All right, so now I have the sketchbooks. So those were done like a year ago. And then these were done this year. I think it was like around February time frame. I was like, hey, you want to do some more sketching together? And he was like, yeah, but do I have to use the Neocolors? So I'm like, no, you don't have to use Neocolors. But I did give him his own sketchbook. Some of you might remember I did a video where I bought like 7 or 8 different sketchbooks. I bought them all and I tested them all out, and this ended up being my least favorite. It was the Beachmore sketchbook. The way that I use my sketchbook, it didn't behave well for me. It feels really good and a lot more bleed through. It's like, see it? So I gave this one to him, and then this is the Talon's art creation sketchbook, and I've been kind of using this one as a working sketchbook. So super low pressure. It's a really cheap sketchbook, so it's easy just kind of do random stuff in. I'm gonna try to show you these side by side, because the first thing we did was blind contour drawing of each other, which was quite hilarious. So here's the first one. This is me. And then here's him. I did this one. This is something that I saw on another YouTuber's channel. She said that her and her husband had gotten their own sketchbooks, did some blind contour drawing of each other, and it was just a lot of fun. And I was like, yeah, that sounds like a blast. She changed her channel name, so I'll have to look up her channel name and I'll put it down here. It's like experimental acrylic painting or something like that. So after I saw that, I was like, okay, I have to make that a thing that we do the next time. So, and it was so much fun. We did it a couple of times. This is the very first time. You can actually see like where he started drawing my face, and then I guess this is probably my hair. And it's always hard if you pick up your pencil. I don't know if anybody's done blind contour drawing before. This was really my first time doing it. I think I had done it like one time, like years ago. So it was definitely a learning curve for both of us. I feel like he kind of looks like the Wolfman or Frankenstein. I think I did a decent job starting with, like you can see kind of like I started here and then went around and then kind of just lost everything. But there we are together. Here's the second one. It's definitely starting to look more like people. Not too shabby. I think mine looks kind of like Dennis Rodman in the face. Like you can imagine like a nose ring and some funky hair. And it's really fun because it's not gonna be perfect. The third one, I made him use Stabilo Woodys to draw with. I was like, maybe, you know, drawing with a chunkier pencil, we might do better or worse. I think I did better. I think he did worse. We did the fourth one with the Woodys again, just to see, you know. I really like these. I think we're both improving. I did really good on this eyeball right here. And I really like this one's face. This reminds me of some cartoon character from like Hey Arnold or Wild Thornberrys or something. But I think this one's really cute. For this last one, we used the Woodys at first. And then he was like, hey, you know, after we sketch each other, can we go back with the pen and try to like kind of polish it up with pen? So that's what we did on this one. So you can see like the underneath that he initially did, and then he went back with the pen on top. And then the same thing with mine. I drew his little book that he was drawing in. And we didn't spend a ton of time on these. It was just kind of like a couple minutes and then turn the page, couple minutes, turn the page. But it was a ton of fun. I loved every second of it. And then we decided to try to draw things from memory. I don't know whose idea it was, if it was mine or his or both. But we were like, hey, let's see if we could draw an ostrich from memory. So here's our ostriches, completely from memory. There's his ostrich. But rawr. Mine kind of looks like a swan had a baby with a ostrich. And then I was like, okay, maybe I should pick something that, you know, we kind of see on a daily basis. So I picked a truck, like an 18-wheeler kind of truck. So here's his truck. He picked a really hard angle, but he did really well. I was very surprised when he showed me this. I was like, wow, you even did a really hard angle and it looks really good. You know, completely from memory, which is it's not easy to do. And then here's mine, definitely more simplified truck. And I didn't put anything between the pages, so the bird kind of smeared over on it. But so that was a lot of fun. And then he was like, hey, can we do some scroll and scribble? So I was like, yes, we can do scroll and scribble. We can absolutely do some scroll and scribble. So the first one, this is gonna blow your mind because it blew my mind. All right, I'm gonna show you mine first. Here's the picture that we ended up landing on for the scroll and scribble. So here's what I did. And I continued using the Woodys because I just really like drawing with those. All right, so before I show you this, y'all know, some of you know, but I have struggled with buildings and architecture for a long time. I've definitely come a long way and I've gotten a lot better, but it's taken a lot of practice to get there. This guy, let me show you what he did. Highly impressed, okay? And just to remind you, like, he doesn't draw like ever, okay? But this is what he did. I couldn't believe it. It's so good. I think it's better than mine. Crazy good. He was like, yeah, I'm much more comfortable drawing with pen. And I'm like, yeah, that definitely shows. So I was like, yeah, you just keep drawing with pen, because that's definitely in your comfort zone. Look at this tower. I love it. It's so cute. I love it. But it blew my mind. I was like, oh my gosh, you can draw houses. We scrolled again and he was like, I don't really want to, do the collage style that I usually do in my videos. And I was like, that's totally fine. We can just do one on each page. So here's the second picture we got. And here's mine, which I'm definitely not as comfortable using pen, but I still like how it turned out. And here's his, which I think this full page looks really cool side by side. Love it. And then we scrolled some more. And these are the next two pictures that we got. My bunny and the raccoon. Here's his. So adorable. I love their tiny little eyes. Both of them have cute little eyes. I think he did really well. He's like, I'm not an animal drawer. I'm like, I don't know. You did pretty good for drawing animals. Animals are not easy to draw, but I think those turned out really good. All right, so the very last thing, I had to make him do some intuitive drawing with me. And I'm pretty sure I took pictures of the before and then I'll show you the after. So we kind of just let loose and drew a little bit. And then I was like, okay, stop. And we took pictures of what we did. So let me know if you see anything in these marks. And then I turned mine into this. So this is what I saw. A square wolf puppy. And then this was his intuitive scribble. And I think he took a picture. Hopefully he took a picture of it. Otherwise, I don't have it. And then here's what he saw in his image. He said he just saw a whole bunch of faces in all of these. So he kind of just drew the little faces that he saw in all of his little scribble marks, which is pretty cool. That one kind of looks like it's stretched this way. Really cool looking. Almost looks like some kind of galaxy things all spinning off into like different like faces and things. Definitely interesting to look at. So yeah, I just thought I would share that with you guys, give you all a little inspiration or maybe a little confidence to try to, invite somebody to kind of do one of these exercises with you. It doesn't need to be serious. You're not trying to compare yourselves to one another. It's just something fun to do together. And you might find something interesting out about how you like to create better than other ways to create, or things that you're really good at drawing versus other things. And if nothing else, it's a couple of hours of laughing and just having a good time together. So I highly recommend it. Hopefully this was okay for today. I didn't really have a rough week, but it was kind of a rough week creatively. I couldn't really think of anything good that I really felt like doing with you guys. And I've really been wanting to put this video together for a long time, so hopefully you enjoyed it. Thank you everyone who left me a like. It really helps me out a lot. And thank you to all my subscribers, whether you just joined today or you've been here from the start. Thank you so much for coming back each week. If you're interested in any of these ideas, I have tons of videos on my channel for each specific one. Let me know if you give these a try with somebody and if y'all enjoyed it. And we'll probably do lots more of these, so if y'all want to see some more of that in the future, let me know. And yeah, I'll see y'all next time.